Oh no, you weren't recording.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
I'm literally running out of wine.
We're just getting right into it. They are badass women. This is Road Trippin. That is Channing. That is Richard. I am Allie Clifton. It's Kelley O'Hara. It's Haley Rosen. Just women's sports. Can we freaking just talk about it? If you all knew how long it took us to get to this point.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Ladies, welcome. We're so excited to have you. We've had a lot of fun just getting to this point, and we want that fun to continue. So with that said, Channing, you start, because I know that you love opening up all conversations.
Well, I mean, listen, here's my question. It might be like a long-winded question.
Most likely.
Here's the purpose. Most likely. I got 3 girls, right? And they're all amazing, and they're powerful, and they're wonderful, and smart, cute, all that. What are things as a dad that people in your life influence you to be such badasses, right? So that I can learn, and people who are learning, like I grew up with 1 brother, and then my dad had 1 brother with 2 sons. So I'm growing up around all boys. I'm always around men. The thing that I know is if my 5'2", 10-year-old does something, I ask I don't know how tall she is, my 8-year-old to do the same thing. And most of the time she kicks his ass. But, right? But like, what else can I do as a dad to make sure that she's as awesome as I think she's going to be?
Ooh, I would say, yeah. I mean, wait, so you have 3 girls and only 3 girls.
I have 1 boy and 3 girls.
Got it. For me, growing up, I never knew that like people thought that women were less than or treated them less than, because I never saw that as a kid. And my parents never put me in an environment that I felt that, or they basically made me be like, no, you're better than everybody else, in the sense of like, we expect you to be great and you should be, because why not? Yeah. So I think that like putting them in an environment and always, maybe not protecting them from the world, but making them believe that they can be and do anything that they want to. And it doesn't matter. There's no difference of them being a girl compared to your son being a boy. So letting them create their own boundaries and expectations for themselves instead of other people putting them on top of them. I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
What are you giggling about, Channing? Why are you giggling?
I'm very excited, Richard. Just let me listen. Don't ruin my energy. Don't ruin my energy.
Look, your energy is great. Like I'm excited. Look, the funny thing about this, Haley, Kelley, is that we have been through the ringer when it comes to doing podcasts. Like we have lost complete episodes. We have recorded where 1 mic wasn't there. What I want to know is give me your, I started a podcast, give me the horror story where you're like, oh, this is completely, if you're telling me it's been perfect every time, kudos, shout out to you. Give us some of the horror stories and we can swap.
And you can't say the name of your podcast enough.
Yes.
So for the Just Women Sports podcast, our horror stories, I think we had a really brutal one like 2 weeks ago, Kelley, with Stephanie.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the worst one, for sure.
That was so brutal.
It's the setup. That's always the hardest part.
We send our guests a mic, and so we try and like do that, and this went horribly. We set her up for like an hour and a half, and we kept being like, we're so sorry. Like, we're so sorry. She's like, it's okay. There's no surf out right now. I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
So what happened? Like, she just couldn't get the mic right, or?
The problem was her computer was super old. So she was like trying to do it on her iPad, but then the iPad didn't have the capability to do or run the things that we needed to run, and then maybe like the mic wouldn't plug in. I don't know. So she was zooming off of maybe her iPad, and then like mic was plugged into her computer, and she was in Australia and I was in Denver and Haley was in LA and our audio guy was in New York. So it was just craziness. Yeah. But bless them, because obviously all of our guests are athletes, and I told Just Women Sports, I was like, you guys have to make this as streamlined as possible. Like, you have to send them exactly what they need and explain exactly what they have to do, because I can understand some things, but like not to say like athletes. No, it's more so it's just like make life simple for them.
Well, and the thing too that we have to remember is that people actually get paid to do those jobs.
Correct.
We don't get paid to be an engineer. We don't get paid to work with all the technology that sets us up to, and then go do what you all want us to do. Like, that's not how this works. We always want to say that we can do it all, and we try and do it all because that's what women do. But
here we go.
In the same space, we feel you because, as they mentioned, Road Trippin started with one wine glass and one mic in it, and we all just sat around it and screamed into the microphone.
Really? You put it in a wine glass?
No, it was one wine.
It was like we had one
glass.
empty wine glass and we all kind of huddled around it. And then like the next one, we had like 4 mics, but people were like moving their mics and doing stuff.
Eating M&Ms.
M&M. No, we had one episode where we ate food because we were all so hungry. And like all of the comments were like, will these idiots stop fucking chewing?
Oh no, that's the worst.
You're just chomping into the mic.
And it was like, yo, I did one episode that pissed off Channing because he didn't want to come. Or he was doing something. And so the entire episode, it was just me and Allie, and I kept yelling to Channing like he was 5 feet. I'm like, hey, Channing, you're really not going to come on? You're really not going to come on? Fine. You stay over there and pout. And so people online thought that like he was there and just being a dick. And finally, Channing was not happy. Guys, I wasn't in the room anymore. Leave me alone.
Dude, the Unheard of podcast with my brother in Indiana was... Literally, it would have shut down the internet. My stomach hurt so bad from laughing. My brother is 6 foot and he's kind of chubby little guy. And he actually had like a real college experience. He was in a frat. His stories about his frat and just the things that he has such a Curb Your Enthusiasm type humor, which is different than my like fart joke humor. So like, we were crying. Go figure.
Gone.
I don't know what happened.
One of the wires or mics wasn't connected. Static for 90 minutes. Static for 90 minutes.
This took place in April of 2017 because the guys were in the playoffs. So we were in Indy. And shout out to Logan and his friends because Mark was on there as well. And I just 2 weeks ago to a Road Trippin to our Road Trippin Instagram account, got a message asking if we were able to recover that episode.
Salvage. Speaking of, I have to plug my computer in because I'm scared it's going to die, and that's happened to us.
One recording too.
I had, so you know how we have the little Zooms that you plug it in? I kid you not, I had like 2 or 3 times where one time the batteries died on the Zoom. Another time the SIM card that are the card that you put in for storage was like had 1 gig on it, and so we're like 30 minutes in. We were interviewing April Ross, the volleyball player, and like 15 minutes in, I just start like sweating because she's like, we're together, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but we have to stop. I don't even know if we have like any of this, but we have to stop. I'm scrambling around my house looking like. People don't understand, like podcasting is so much fun. There's so many great stories out there, but it is really freaking hard. I don't even do the edits like Allie does, but like, we've made so many mistakes.
Allie, you do the editing?
Oh yeah.
That's incredible.
When quarantine happened, like we had to figure out how to like move on, right? And continue, and we all had all this downtime. So how can you make the most of it? And it just got to a point where what they do, they eat their dry, dirty burritos, they drink their alcohol, and then I do the work.
Oh God.
So with that said though,
I promote a little bit, Allie. I do other things.
You do nothing. You do nothing. You absolutely nothing.
Okay, so wait, we have to dive into your podcast. Okay, so Just Women's Sports again. For someone who wants to know why they should tune in, besides Kelley O'Hara, the only individual on this podcast who own a gold medal.
It's not my fucking fault.
Because you're such a stud of the star.
I got a feeling I need to get rid of.
But the question is, does Kelley have a bronze? Does Kelley have a bronze medal? Because those are a little bit harder to come by. I don't know if you know that. Raise your hand. I do.
Like second loser. It's
it's actually the 3rd winner because you got to win the bronze medal match.
That is true.
And that's not a fun.
A bronze medal probably feels better than a silver medal does, huh? I mean, you wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't know because I don't have a silver.
But I think it would.
You know what it is? I think a bronze medal would, because if you had the ability to wake up and be like, yo, we could either go home with nothing or we can go home with something.
For sure.
Like the silver, you're always going to be like, we were in the gold medal match.
Isn't that how most people go to bars?
What does it feel like to have a gold medal?
That tickled. That really tickled.
I was waiting for that. Waiting for that. I win today. I can go to sleep.
Can we mute him?
Yeah. What does it feel like to have a gold medal, Kelley, please?
It feels better than having a bronze. I'm fairly certain that is.
You know what? Honestly, I've thought about having mine gold plated.
Ooh.
That's what
you could do like a little, like a gold around the edges, you know.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna have my bronze gold plated. I think that's
like a big E for effort on it.
Okay, so getting back to it.
I'm like sweating. I'm laughing so hard.
I know, right? What is the goal? Like, what is it about the podcast that you guys are enjoying, that you're loving, that you guys talk about? Like, what is your podcast for someone who is thinking, oh, should I tune into this? Why should they tune into it?
Haley, do you want to give our elevator pitch? I'm not good at elevator pitches.
No, I want you to take
No. I want you to, and I will add color if need be.
Okay. Is it the podcast pitch?
Yeah, just what is Just Women's Sports Podcast? Tell people.
So basically, like, I'm sure you guys know, like 4% of sports coverage is dedicated to women's sports. So that's like our whole goal as a company, is to change that. And we think audio is like awesome for all the reasons you guys think audio is awesome. And the whole premise of the show is Kelley sits down every week with another professional female athlete. So we've had April Ross. Our last episode was Carly Lloyd. We've had Nneka Ogwumike, Candace Parker, Alex Morgan, Chloe Kim. Like, we're getting awesome athletes. And the idea is like peer-to-peer conversations, kind of bridge that gap between like, what happens behind the scenes, the conversations that happen offline, and that like post-game interview. And so I think they've been really awesome. I think Kelley's an awesome host. She gets like really honest stories from the women. And I think it's been really, really fun. What do you think, Kelley?
I agree. It has been very fun. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I wouldn't get to have these conversations. Like some people that I get to interview, I've been, okay. What's her name?
Oh, here we go. Is that what we're doing?
If I would have shown you what she was doing at the door, she was licking the window to get in. Lenny, is it night time? Her name is Lennox. Say hi.
She's adorable.
Hi.
Oh
my this
gosh.
Is.
Oh my
Get
God,
a soccer ball at her feet. Let's get her training.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to be. She's going to have to be
bigger than my 4-year-old. So
yeah, she's going.
Oh my God. So she's not little. Like she's not.
Yeah.
Can be a center forward.
Of them all.
Yeah.
You say hi. What are you doing?
Hi.
Okay, now she's acting out. But anyway, keep going. Sorry, I have to.
Oh no, I was just saying that some of these athletes that I've gotten to sit down with, I've been like Stephanie Gilmore, I've watched for years as a surfer, and I got to sit down and chat with her for an hour and a half and just pick her brain on like her life, her career, how she approaches success, failure, crazy shit that's happened to her, because she's had some crazy shit happen to her. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, I feel lucky that I get to be able to be in the position to have these conversations. But then on top of it, as an athlete, I think that it's almost like cathartic to sit down and tell your story and like go through the highs and the lows and to talk about it to another athlete, not necessarily like media or journalists or something. And there's so many bridges that I think can be built between like, oh, this athlete's going through this, but as humans, we all go through tough times, and how you handle things, how you handle success, how you handle failure, that sort of stuff. So I've loved it. I've, like I said, I feel lucky that I get to be the host and to have these conversations, and it's been an adventure. But apparently people like it, so we're gonna keep doing it.
That's cool.
No, it's a dope adventure. One of the things that we started doing this is because we would drink obsessively with our teammates, and we would talk for hours at dinner. So we were like, fuck it, like let's like start a podcast. And this was many, many years ago. How much fun is it when you're like, okay, we're going to sit down with our teammates and friends? Like, is that, because that was the thing that we were so fortunate when launching our podcast in season, is we had, 4 all-stars. We had guys that were known. We were the defending champions. So we would sit down with Kyle Korver. We would sit down with J.R. Smith. And it was just like, everyone would love to hear, because we get to tell stories that aren't interviews. Like, they're not like, so tell us where you're from. It's like, no, all right, we get to go in depth. We get to crack jokes. We get to hear stories about pretty much, we don't know where typically the conversation goes. We just kind of start. Do you have more fun interviewing your teammates and showing everyone the chemistry, or do you enjoy more? I know there's both, like interviewing someone that you're a fan of, because there's always nerves for that.
Yeah. So it actually, it was interesting because Alex was our first like episode we released in season 1, but I think she was maybe like 2 or 3 or 4th in terms of who I interviewed. And I've never interviewed anybody before, guys. So like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just,
alcohol helps.
Yeah, winging. Well, I've been sober for all my interviews. So
that's like the beauty of it though, because I think it's so humanizing.
Yeah.
Like, people don't always want to be talked to. They want to feel like they're a part of the conversation.
For sure.
From that standpoint, I think like that just adds a whole nother element of like love when it comes to enjoying these stories and time,
Yeah, some of my friends will even text me and they're like, oh, I go on my run and I like play your podcast and I feel like we're on a run together. Like you guys were saying, your friends will put it on while they're cooking, whatever. And it's just nice it's like 2 friends chatting. But for us, it's probably a bit more structured than road tripping, but because it's one, there's no alcohol involved, but maybe we should, since Heineken is the partner now, and we got to schedule some Friday night Zooms. But
makes the stories that much better.
I know.
Like, should I say this?
No, why not?
Here we go.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but the teammates or the like people that I know versus people I don't know has been interesting, because I think I was more nervous to interview Alex, because it's like, ooh, this is a friend, like a really good friend, and I know a lot about her. But it's now I'm trying to like lead a conversation and get through her story and get to, these interesting things that have happened to her through her career, that sort of thing. And so I don't know. Haley, what do you think? Do you think I'm better on teammates or people I'm not teammates with?
We've talked about this. We've had to like coach you up more on teammates. You get more nervous for teammates.
Well, I get more casual. Like I'm more chatty, so I think that might be part of it.
See, go ahead, Addie.
But I was going to say, I think also with us, like we're like a lot of times telling these stories for the first time. Like the names you guys just mentioned, like we all know those names, like media coverage is all over that. Like sometimes we're like introducing April Ross's story. So I feel like we've had to have more structure to just kind of like get through it. But what I've loved is like, there is that like peer-to-peer element of it. And like, I feel like we get perspectives that you don't normally hear. Like I was thinking about this week's episode with Carly Lloyd. Like if you guys remember after the World Cup when she like made all those comments about not playing and it was like a really dark time for her and people really like criticized her, but hearing it from her perspective and her words, she was basically saying like, that was a hard time for me as a competitor. Like the last World Cup, I had a hat trick. I was the star of the show. I was like, the team went around me, but I still was a great teammate. I was so proud of the group. I loved being a part of it. And I was like, obviously everyone gets that perspective. Like that's super reasonable. And I feel like it's really cool that we get to share that. And like, you get to hear that. And like, I think give Kelley credit. Like she gets that from these interviews, which I think is like really special and unique.
See, Kelley, the thing for us is that we had to convince our teammates to come on. They're like, no, we're not fucking with you guys. Leave us alone. Like, what? Like, and I was like, no, it's not that bad. Like, no, we come on, we drink some wine. It's like, no. So we actually, there was like Luke.
Can you tell the Luke story and how you got Luke?
I was about to say, so teammates weren't like, they didn't really want to come on at first.
But they wanted to come on, but at first it took a while because they didn't necessarily trust us.
I was about to say, there's a trust element to it. You guys are probably like assholes.
But the trust element is more of the fun times that we would like. And then we slowly but surely, we built the trust very quickly because we'd let them listen to it. We would edit stuff out. We don't ever want like got you stuff.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
Ever want like that type of stuff. We want to like tell us a story that no one knows about this, or let's tell everybody that time we were here and this happened. So I think once they started to see that like the stuff that was coming out from the podcast wasn't random, like we were drunk and you made out with an ugly chick, back in college. Like, yeah, like none of that stuff was happening.
Earmuffs.
Savage. I think for me it was fun because I was like, I just want to get to know you. Like, I think people want to get to know you. And I think 2 of the 3, I think the best episodes I thought were like getting to hear from Tim Duncan, who doesn't say nothing to nobody. Derek Rose was pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then even like a guy like Kyle Korver, who's outspoken about certain subjects, but yet he's like, he's deeper than that. I think, oh God, this is what I got to deal with every day, man. Every day. It's wonderful. I'm a better human being.
Is there paint on that paintbrush that she's eating?
Paintbrush. It's actually a baster for ribs. That's the problem.
In your living room? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm in this little office, and what happened was she thought it was a paintbrush and brought it in here and was pretending to paint. Like, dude, like nobody, like obviously everyone's going to have these hot takes on like what's happening now. But like for our podcast, I think our biggest thing is like people want to be fans of our guests, right? Like our guests, like the people who listen to Road Trippin' are going to be like, dude, Kelley and Haley, like we fuck with y'all. Like we're going to support you, whatever you do, right? The more they get to know you. And so like being a gold medalist and being the 0.001% best of the world at this and going to these prestigious schools doesn't make you like you're still human. You're still a person.
Well, yeah, wait, Chang, let's be honest. Like they went to Stanford. It's not like they went to Arizona. Nerds.
Proud of it.
Oh, stop!
They got the fucking tree. God,
it's the worst mascot of all time.
It's worst in all of college sports. How is it that one of the most prestigious, actually like the smartest kids, that's the smartest shit y'all can come up with?
Even the worst mascot next to a tree is a beaver, and the beaver eats the tree.
Wait.
No advantage over anybody.
You guys do know we're not the trees, right? That is just a mascot.
They don't.
It makes it worse.
They don't know that.
No, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
you guys
like,
are
it's not
that
go
ugly
trees.
tree all the
it's
time.
Go card.
It's go card.
Yeah, like people, cardinal.
What, like
so Stanford's so ahead of their time.
bird?
Stanford is so ahead of their time. They changed to be a color, cardinal, as their like rallying cry or whatever you want to call it, and it's like go big green, go card.
So is it? Oh, so what is so?
And the tree is just a supplement to that.
But is it cardinal? Are you guys? What is your bird
or just a color?
No.
Is it the Stanford
I don't
Cardinals?
know if you're making it better, Kelley.
No, is it the Stanford Cardinals?
No.
Are you the Cardinals like different styles?
What is okay? We're the Arizona Wildcats. What are y'all again? You're on our conference.
Kelley, don't feed it.
Yes.
Let's
do this.
Okay, Kelley,
I love the competitive nature here.
Kelley, I need to have a moment here.
Richard, where'd you go to school?
University of Arizona.
You know it.
University of Arizona. Bear down. Both of us are Wildcats.
She didn't know though. That's the problem.
That's okay. Don't. That's why we like to give shit to Stanford. Like they were our rival. I'm really old.
Rival in what?
In basketball, because it was like the Collins twins. It was the Collins twins, Casey Jacobson. They were before your time. Mark Madsen.
I don't know, but they were really good, right? Were you guys?
Very, very good. So we were both number 1 seeds. We were number 1 seeds one year, and then another year they were the number 1 seed. We were the 2 seed. So we were both top 5 teams in the country when we were there.
But what you're saying is they were better.
No. We beat them twice, right? We beat them multiple times.
Okay, but they were a 1 seed one year, and you guys were a 2 seed.
Yeah, but we had beat them twice that year. We like to fuck around when we would go to Eugene and when we go to Oregon. So we would get drunk up there, have fun, lose both those games, have the same record. We're like, oh, Stanford's here. Let's pay attention. Let's beat them.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah. But, also the reason why we were the 2 seed, our coach's wife died that year. She had to take some time off. But it's cool.
Yeah,
you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
It's cool. I wish there was somewhere where we could get drunk near Stanford, but we couldn't. Everyone was studying the whole time. So it was like we were well rested every time we beat the crap out of y'all. Every time.
Oh my God.
The only time we lost was my rookie year, my freshman year, when you had 4 NBA players on your team. It was like, sometimes it happens.
This is the part that I need to say, Kelley. I just need to get this out of the way because I had the opportunity to interview Kristen Press also like on SportsCenter. But I'm a fan. Like I'm like keeping it cool, like I'm keeping it real chill right now. But like
I do see sweat coming from you.
A fan of Stanford?
Fuck no. of the U.S. women's national team. Like, I'm a fan. And I know you hear that a lot, but like, I was in London by myself, just on vacation, right? And all of a sudden, you know, you guys beat Brazil. And I was like, you know what? If they make it to the final, like, I'm going to go. So I go and buy a 1-day ticket, like fly from London. I was there like traveling by myself, fly to Germany, go and watch the final by myself.
So you're the reason we lost. You showed up.
100%. 100% I'm the reason why you guys lost. Okay. And so I'm sitting there watching like PKs in Germany, just fucking like, okay. And so I don't remember, and it's going to bother me, but I met one of the agents. And he was like, hey, Rich, he's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just a big fan of the team. I was in Europe and I decided to fly here to watch the final. Hopefully, when he's like, yo, come over. I want to introduce you. So I started meeting like Dad. This was so many years ago, but I started meeting Dad's boyfriend. Drew Holiday was there, and he was a young kid. So I was like talking to him a little bit because I knew. And he was like, hey, Rich, after the game, we're going to celebrate. Come with us, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. But like, I'm like, look, I got a solo ticket on the other side of the arena. So I go to the other side of the arena. I'm watching this. Like, I'm like invested now because I'm like, oh, come on. Need these ladies to win. Blah, blah, I'm fan.
I need to party. You know,
I definitely need to rage. I'm like,
losing parties don't vibe like winning parties.
No, they
exactly.
do not.
But I was like,
you're smoking a cigarette when you lose. Like,
that's what I'm saying. You're smoking a cigarette in the corner, just getting hammered. But I'm like, I really want these ladies to win. I'm a fan. I flew all the way here solo just to catch the final. Okay, we know what happens. You guys lose in PKs. I hate PKs. I think you should go golden goal. That's just mine. In the finals, that's my opinion. No big deal. So then I decided to go say goodbye. I didn't want to be the guy that jumped ship. So I was like, hey, let me go say goodbye to the agent. And I was like, hey, look, I'm sorry. Look, I've lost in the NBA finals. I've lost in the national championship. I get it.
No. Very similar. Very same plane there.
Yeah, I've lost in the Olympics. I've lost in the Olympics.
Okay.
How about that, you jerk?
But like, you lost early in the Olympics, so your expectations are pretty low.
I'm just saying, I've had a lot of losses over here, Kelley. Look, I know I'm going on a rant here, but stay with me. So
I am. I'm focused.
He's like, Rich, don't worry about it. Just come on. And I'm like, I don't know.
So you came to the after party.
I came to the after party.
Did we meet?
I don't know if we met.
Listen, look,
I just kind of stayed back and just I understood what it was. I did see. God, who was it? God, I can't even remember. I actually, like, I was literally sitting at a table and I talked to Megan's like twin sister for like an hour. Just like everybody was like in their own worlds. It was emotional because you guys had lost. But I'm sitting here like, the fuck am I doing here? Like, why? I have a flight at like 5 in the morning. But I will say this. That to me is just say, like, one, I'm excited to like actually get a chance to interview. I'm a fan of what you guys have done. And I was very, very excited when you guys won the next World Cup because I felt like I was there. Like, I felt like I was really engaged. Channing, do you have a cool story?
It's not cool, but it's pretty funny. I was pretty hyped. So obviously Portland is big time when it comes to women's soccer. Big time. And the vibe out here, like the Thorns game, cracking.
Yeah.
Cracking. Timber Thorns are like neck and neck, right? So we were all at a bar when you guys won it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get me a jersey because I thought your jerseys were fire. So I go, what's the biggest size they got? Okay, 2XL on this boy, right? I'm legit 7 foot. I don't know what site I ordered.
Oh, no, you definitely got a female or women's jersey.
Oh, yes, for sure. That thing was, look.
Do you still have it? Can we get a picture of you in it?
No, I have it. Listen, I put that thing on, and I was like, hey, yo, I got to get my $87 back. This is crazy. But then y'all won, and then it didn't even matter, and then we ended up getting drinks. But that's my story. But, like, I was at a bar watching you guys, like, hype, and the whole place was, like, packed. The Thirsty Lion. It was great. Portland.
The Thirsty
Lion. Time. It was a great time. I mean, people were
like
crying.
to watch us win. It's nice.
Yeah,
but also, you want to know why? You want to know why you got a women's jersey?
I feel like that's a direction.
They didn't make men's jerseys until 2019, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive on that. Haley, correct me if I'm wrong.
Now you tell me. God damn it.
I know.
Yeah,
but
maybe somebody give me a men's size 2XL real quick.
I think you can like order it on Nike.
Jersey for some wine. How about that? Barter system.
Oh, there we go. Do you take back all the bad things that you said about Stanford?
No.
No.
No, God, no.
No, nerds.
You guys sound bitter.
No, we are bitter. You guys are smarter than us. You guys are just as good athletes as us.
You spend more time in the classroom than us.
Yeah, your degrees are cooler when you leave the school. Yes, like you have individuals like Haley that are like starting actual like movements and
like we got to enjoy our college and not go to class. People that like didn't try.
Yes,
I think Kelley had fun in college.
You think what?
I think you had fun in college.
I had a good time in college. I will not deny that.
Were you on academic probation at any time?
No.
Oh, you did not enjoy college then. I was on that sucker every 6 months.
Channing, academic probation is, look, I couldn't even return for my senior year. They basically told me, it's like, hey, Richard, so as much as we love the graduation rate, we just feel like it's probably best if, like, this is a mutual separation. So, like, you go and, like, just play basketball for a living. You go play basketball for a living, but don't
worry about that.
Don't come back for your senior year. That's all we're saying.
You can't come back.
Just, like, if you try to come back, you won't be allowed back. So that's kind of how my senior way.
I got my degree though.
We're good. I got a degree though.
From what department? What department? Do you have a degree?
Anthropology. I love people. This is what I do every day. I talk to people.
It's paid off.
What is your degree?
Anthropology. It's the study of people, Richard. Big word. Anthropology.
Can you spell it?
Wait, isn't that a clothing store?
Oh, I've heard that joke before, Richard.
Okay. Because we're gonna have to wrap this up soon, and I want them to have the final say because that's why we're here.
Shut your mouth, Channing.
I want a story from when you guys won, whether it was the FIBA World Cup or the Olympics, the gold medal. A story that hasn't been told, because I know that these are the stories that you love to find and tell. But then I also want Haley to finish off for us as well with just what you guys like, the goal, the vision, and where you see this podcast and your movement in general kind of thing and going. So
how about, do you want to go first so I can think about what story
hasn't been told?
You're passing it to me to take
to ruin my reputation.
I get all the serious questions.
You do.
Because
I can help you. I'll help you.
That said, though, I think it's really important because I think there are so many females, young girls, especially whether they're athletes or not, that want to do something like this. And it's special and it's unique and it's a very unique time. But there's a lot that may not understand and know that it can be done. And so I just think that guidance in that direction and just the belief and understanding that it is possible, I think is important.
I appreciate that. I think, like, Channing, going back to what you said earlier, like, what can you do for your daughter? Like, that's part of what we're trying to solve. Like, you know, our whole thing is, like, women's sports, like, they're just sports. Female athletes are athletes. Like, Kelley, her teammates, the WNBA, like, these women ball out. And, like, if we want to see that, like, I love watching them play. Like, watching Kelley and the team, like, win a World Cup, like, it's sick. Like, it's so fun. And, like, we just want to build all the fun stuff that happens on the men's side, all the coverage, all the movement. Like, we want that on the women's side. We want more sports. Like, that's just our whole thing. And, like, I think sometimes when people hear, like, just women's sports, they think, oh, by women, for women, or, you know, like something like that. And it's like, no. Like, this is just sports coverage. Like, we're just saying these women ball, let's cover them. That's super fun. And, like, that's our whole thing. And so, like, right now we're doing it, you know, we have our website and all that stuff, and we have our podcast, but, like, we want, like, to change the game, right? Like, we want women's sports domination. We want everything you see on the men's sports side. We want that on the women's sports side, and we want to go build it. And it's awesome that we, you know, get to go on shows like this and, like, chat about it. So thank you guys for, like, giving me that chance to do that. And I appreciate, like, you know, Kelley coming on board. Yeah, thank you. And, you know, we have other athletes that we're working with, and it's like, it's just really fun. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff happening in the space, and, like, we just want to grow it. Like, that's our whole thing. And I feel like I've been the only serious one on this podcast, so I'm sorry to, like, bring the temperature down.
Are you kidding?
No, you need it. No, you need it. Look, this is the thing. When we first got started, and this is why, like, as soon as, like, I was introduced to what you guys were doing, and I was like, yo, this is awesome, we got to get them on, is because we figured it out. The reason why it helped our team so much is that people started to hear via podcast that everyone got along and everyone was close. And our story became our catchphrase kind of became like, no one tells our stories better than us.
Yeah.
And so that's true. Like, no one tells our stories. So when you get athletes talking to athletes, like when you guys are doing Just Women's Sports and you are interviewing the highest level of female athletes, that's the story that only you guys can tell. Right? Like athlete to athlete, pairing to pairing. Like, how did you handle your Olympic loss? This is how we handled our World Cup loss. There's only a few people on the fucking planet that can tell those stories, and you guys are one of them. So it is a compliment to you guys, and I think it's awesome. And so now we're just going to go to Kelley to tell us something really, really that she's never told before.
Wait, can I fangirl really quick? One quick fangirl. I told you this, Richard, on our first call, that like our show was inspired by you guys. Like, no, really though, because we wanted to like share these stories, but we're like, how are you actually going to listen and like make it real? And it's like, it's got to be athlete to athlete, which was
athlete to athlete.
Yeah,
so cheers
to you guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers,
Thank
for sure.
That's cheers to Allie, because like without her, it would really just be me and him talking shit.
I feel like you guys would just be fighting the whole time.
Yeah, we would. We do. Yeah. Like we've known each other since he was like he was 14 and I was 17. I can't fucking stand.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like Kelley, to your point, when you were like, I just feel like I'm getting all the serious questions and stuff. Our roles are important.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to our podcast, I'm the one that has to be like, we gotta go, we gotta run, or like we gotta change directions, and everyone's like, no, I want that story to keep going on. Like, yeah, I get it, but we have a role, so you keep doing your thing.
No, appreciate that.
The reason why we are where we are right now.
And I'll just follow up on this on the serious note is that what I've learned through my career, and especially with this podcast and in like meeting Haley and joining up with Just Women's Sports, is like, if you want to see something change, you can't be looking around waiting for somebody else to do it. Just go out and do it yourself. Like that is the reality that is life. And I think in my early career, I thought that, like this, equal pay, someone will figure it out. It'll happen eventually. No, like if you want it, you have to go out and do something about it. You can't just complain. You can't just like bitch and moan. It's go change it yourself. Be the person who's going to create the change. So I think that's something I hope people, the world knows and believes in and goes and does, because there's a lot of things that we need to change, and it's about being the change and making the change. So
equal pay is fucking one of them, because I love the men's team, but damn, that shit's annoying. Because like, look, I've been on a shitty national team. That's not you saying that. That's me. That's me saying that, and it's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna talk shit about them.
You know that? We saw that crusty bronze you got.
Yeah, shut up, dude. Shut up. It's okay. No, I do believe when you guys fight for the equal pay, and I watch. I know the following that you guys have. I know how you guys have impacted this country internationally. How big like the U.S. women's national soccer team is, and like the disparity, like even if it's not the fact that they're the disparity and correct me if I'm wrong, like you guys don't get paid if you lose, correct?
No.
Wait, you do? No, am I wrong or right?
So we get paid this would be a very much longer conversation, but in terms of compared to the men actually get a amount if they show up for a game and they lose. We get nothing if we show up for a game and we lose.
Well, I know there's probably more layers to that. That's what I was saying.
Is.
Yeah, there's more layers to that. But yeah, sure. that was something like even seeing that, you're like,
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Okay. But just in general, it's like, for instance, Just Women's Sports, 4% of media coverage is given to women's sports. That's annoying. That pisses me off. I can sit here and like be sad about it and complain about it, or I can go and be a part of creating a change. And I think there's so many things that need change, and it's only going to happen if people put in the time and the effort and the commitment to seeing things through. So I think that hopefully people can hear this and whatever they're working towards, whatever they're passionate about, go be that change.
Yeah, look at you being a serious
for women's sports.
And now I'm going to tell you how drunk I was after a World Cup.
Yeah.
I truly don't know if I have like any great story.
Come on.
There's something you saw.
Do you guys get rings? Do you guys get rings
for winning World Cups?
Yeah.
No.
No, you don't get rings.
We just get like the little baby medal. There's really nothing to show for it. It's actually quite sad.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I've never had an opportunity. So you guys don't get rings for World Cups, Olympics, nothing. You get no rings. You get medals. That's it.
Well, yeah, you get like Olympic medal sick. It's like huge and big and gold and awesome. Yeah. Well, it's similar but just different. Similar but different. To the bronze. But World Cup, it's just this little medal. And I want us to be like the Stanley Cup where the guys get to have the trophy for like a week. I wish that we individually could have the trophy for a week.
Take around.
Right? Yeah. And it would be sick. But apparently, if you didn't win it, you're not supposed to hold it. So now when you they bring the trophy to different events and stuff, they have somebody who's like following it around with gloves on. And as the athlete, you're the only person who's supposed to touch it.
That's tight.
Yeah.
But that definitely didn't happen in 2015. So I think we learned new things or made new rules. But my one story I will tell, Richard, just because you talked about 2011, and this is not a victory story, this is a sad story, was the party that you somehow got brought into. Yeah. I saw the field for 15 minutes in that World Cup. It was not, any of my shining moments.
Yeah.
Obviously very upset that we lost, in shock. And so, that happens. The beers come out, you start drinking. We were leaving at we weren't even leaving, I don't think, that early, maybe 7 or 8 in the morning to get on a flight home. And I overslept, and I think 2 or 3 other teammates overslept. And so I got a knock on my door and was, you're still drunk waking up, and you're just trying to put all your stuff together. I had to bring my bags to the bus as one of the youngest players, being the degenerate that I was. And everyone's on the bus. And I was just I just woken up 5 minutes ago, and I'm getting on the bus. All the people who have played, the starters, the veterans looking at you you idiot, get on this bus. If we miss this flight because of you, you're an asshole. And I was oh, I'm very hungover. And that's my story.
But did you just love it?
Is there any feeling worse than that, than being late for the team bus? All of us, it's the worst, most nauseating feeling.
Well, it's terrible when you're sober and it's oh, I just lost track of time, or oh, I forgot something, I had to run back. But when you're hungover, deathly hungover, and you just lost a World Cup and everyone else just lost a World Cup and everyone's upset, and now you have to fly back to America and you're the person who's late to the bus. There was other people, just FYI. I can't remember who they were, and I wouldn't throw them under the bus.
I was going to say, that's a good team. That's a good
team. Exactly. But I was just man, I wasn't good.
Yeah, I've been there.
Well, look, you live.
They tried to leave us in Greece. They're you guys just stay here. You guys just stay here. They didn't care about us anymore.
Yeah.
Tell the story. You're a champion. You're a winner. You're a gold medalist. You're amazing.
True.
Wonderful. And you're leading a charge in change. So, cheers to that.
Go Cal.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
You guys are wonderful. Just Women's Sports is a website and also the podcast, hosted by yours truly, right there.
Thank you, guys. This is so fun.
You guys are wonderful.
Thanks, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your drinks.
Whenever you guys want to get drunk again, come on here and chop it up. Let us know.
Anytime. I actually do. Can we schedule one for down the road? It'll be a Friday night or whenever. Just when I don't.
We'll say that because we stopped drinking a little bit, kind of because I ran out. But stop drinking and running out. Same thing, right?